It's really no exaggeration to say that for Amber and me, the outdoors have been a big part of our lives. Amber grew up in these mountains and enjoyed them as a child, and I've literally been camping since before I learned how to walk. When Abigail was born, we knew that we wanted to have her outside a lot as a child and get her to experience some of the things that we enjoyed as children. Taking her for a camping trip this summer was always high on my list of things to do, but it hadn't really come to fruition, just due to a lot of schedule complications and then an untimely bout of appendicitis that caused Amber to have an appendectomy 2 weeks ago. It honestly wasn't looking like we were going to get out, but Amber was starting to feel better, and we decided to do a trip to the Kenosha Mountains on kind of a last-minute basis this week. Despite being only an hour and a half from our house, we actually found a pretty secluded campsite, and we only saw one other camper in the entire time we were up there. You'll see his trailer in just a second. He was about half a mile away from us, so we really did have the place pretty much entirely to ourselves. Okay, we are just outside of the Lost Creek Wilderness. Found the spot for Abigail's very first camping trip. And I'll unload the truck and figure out where to get set up here because it's possibly going to storm later today. As you can hear, Abigail is not happy right now that we are not giving her our undivided attention. We've got a pretty spot up here in the mountains all to ourselves, 100-mile views, and it should be nice. As you guys watch us set up the tent here, I want to point out that we had never actually used this particular tent before. In the past, I've always tent camped in either one of my small backpacking tents or mountaineering tents, and this large family camping tent had sat in our gear room for a couple years since I bought it at an REI garage sale. I originally figured that we would use this tent once we had a family, but in the past I just hadn't had an occasion to use it. We had either camped in the bed of the truck most often, or in one of the small tents, so we made the mistake of having never set this tent up at a campsite before, and so we had a couple technical difficulties just figuring out the order of the poles on the tent and things of that nature. So it took a little longer than normal, but it's actually a pretty simple tent to set up. I have to say that having a tent of this size was a huge advantage to us while camping with Abigail, especially during the inclement weather we had with the rain and thunderstorms that moved through the area. It was nice to have somewhere where we could go and read to her or change her diaper or put her down for a nap in the pack and play that was not in a buggy area. So having a tent like this for family camping from the car was definitely a great thing. Although this wasn't one of the most exciting camping trips we've ever done, I thought it would be important to do a video documentary of the experience, simply because this was Abigail's first time getting out for a camping trip. I know she probably won't remember it consciously as a 9-month-old, but at least with a video record she can watch this someday and enjoy a little bit of the trip through the videos we've saved. So hopefully she'll enjoy this, and hopefully the experience had a positive effect on her. After setting up camp, we took some time to just enjoy being out in nature, having a little snack and hanging out here in the aspen trees. Abigail really seems to enjoy hanging out in nature, and we've known that since she was first born. And it gave Amber a chance to relax a little as well. Put the drone up to get a view of our campsite and the surrounding area, and as you'll see in this video, there really isn't anybody around. One thing I really like about the Kenosha Mountains is I don't think they really attract the tourist crowd quite the way that some of the other areas in Colorado do. They're not known for 14ers and things like that, so it keeps the crowds at bay, and we were fortunate that we were not really encountering anybody up here. Now, we were up there on a Wednesday, of course, but I think that to be this close to Denver and have so few people is really a good experience. As the day went on, the clouds started to build. There was a forecast of 80% chance of thunderstorms on this day, so We kind of figured we might get some bad weather, and we did get bad weather later in the afternoon, but it was just starting to build up around the time I was filming this video, and we were fortunate that we had good weather for most of the day up there. The night got stormy, but all things considered, that's to be expected when you camp with a forecast like this. It wouldn't be much of a first camping experience without a campfire. So I decided to build a campfire for Abigail out of a bunch of wood that was left over by campers that had been here before us. Abigail out here for her very first campfire, and she's having a blast.
Take the baby. Take on the baby. Take on the baby.
And we've been lucky so far. With all the thunderstorms that have moved through, none of them has hit us directly, so. Abigail, smile. Hi, baby. Hi. The clouds were really starting to build at this point, and I was making dinner while Amber and Abigail tried to relax by the campfire. So, evidently, when they say there's an 80% chance of rain, that means there's a good chance you're going to get wet during your camping trip. So, we're still out here. It's been raining for about an hour. Amber and Abigail are in the tent trying to stay dry, and I'm just picking up around the camp right now. So, my big hope is that the rain blows out by tomorrow morning, because there's nothing I hate more than packing up a wet camp that I then have to unpack at home to dry out. So, fortunately, it kind of put a damper on our campfire here, so not doing much with that, but it's still quiet. We haven't seen a single person drive by this area in the entire time we've been up here, and we've been here since the morning today, and it's about 8 p.m., so good spot, but it'd be nice if it stopped raining. Anyway, we'll see you guys later. As long as Mom and Dad stayed with her, Abigail was generally pretty happy in the pack and play. Or at least that's what we'll say. It kept raining throughout the night, so we were pretty much in the tent from here on out, but Abigail made sure to wake us up every 20 minutes to remind us it was raining. I honestly don't know what was wrong with that steer, but something wasn't right. Anyway, at least he woke us up to a nice day outside, and we got to take Abigail out for a hike in the mountains before we left. As the day went on, though, clouds started to build and the next round of thunderstorms were coming in, so we quickly took our camp down and got out of there. Honestly, we couldn't have timed it better. We had the tent packed up about a minute before it started raining, and the lightning came shortly thereafter. Abigail insisted on driving for the way home, and who am I to say no to such a cute baby? This next part will show you a drive from Kenosha Pass to Denver in about 2 minutes.